Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update: my 24 female boyfriend, 26 male, has a long-time female friend who's clearly into him and I don't know what I should do. Original post: this is gonna sound like typical insecure girlfriend, but I promise it's not like that. My boyfriend and I have been together for over 6 months and he's really great. He has a friend that he's had for years who is a girl. Normally, I'm not the type to be all like, you're not allowed to hang out with a single girl alone. But I'm considering telling my boyfriend that he's not allowed to hang out with this girl alone. This girl is obviously so into him and she definitely wants me to know she's coming for him. She keeps saying stuff like, "You don't know him like I do yet. We used to go to that place together all the time, long before you guys started dating. Oh my god, Josh, remember when we went on a hike just the two of us? That was the best day." She also had cute pet names for him, but I didn't like that, so as soon as I heard it, I told my boyfriend I didn't like it and he made her stop. I asked her straight up if she's into him and her response angered me off so much. She was like, "I know it's intimidating how close he and I are, but don't worry, you're the girlfriend, I'm just a friend, right?" With a smug smile on her face. I got so mad but I couldn't talk to my boyfriend about it. I want to tell him to cut her out of his life so bad, but I don't know if I can do that. My boyfriend's dad passed away 2 years ago due to a heart condition. He told me that his dad was his best friend growing up, so it hit him really hard. He was the only family my boyfriend had. Apparently, this girl really helped him get through it. She apparently was there for him throughout the whole thing. That's why he says she's like a sister to him. That's why I don't know what to do. I already asked him to set some boundaries. Like she can't text late at night, or come over to his place unannounced all the time, and no interrupting our alone time. My boyfriend doesn't realize that she's into him and I kinda don't blame him on that one, because all of her flirts are subtle enough that he doesn't realize, but enough to get me riled up. I know my boyfriend isn't into her at all and he's completely friend-zoned her, but it's still so frustrating. I hate to admit it, but she's so good at getting under my skin, and I don't know what to do. I really need some advice. Thanks, guys. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Maybe you could have a talk with him about how she's acting, and tell him that you don't want to break up their friendship, but that you would feel really loved if he would make it extra clear that he prefers you. Maybe also explain that you don't like to be alone with her because she seems to want you to feel weird, and ask for his help with that. However, I recommend that you don't dictate exactly how he acts, but rather bring it up, and then sit back for a few weeks and see how he handles it. Give him time to observe the situation with new eyes. I think treating him with trust will be better for your relationship, since he hasn't done anything to make you question his loyalty. This is good advice. I hope OP sees this. Express your feelings, ask for help, give him the opportunity to set boundaries with his friend, which he's done with your past concern, so he seems to care about how you feel. He is your partner, it's good to be honest and vulnerable. How long have they known each other, and have you had a chance to see how she interacts with other people other than him? Yes, I have. We went on a double date once, and it seemed like she was paying more attention to my boyfriend than she was to her own date. How long have they known each other? They've known each other for about 4 years. This is really petty advice, and don't do it if you're a good person. If she is into him, then it's probably really bothering her to see him with another girl, so play it up. Have your hands on him, sit really close to him, drape a leg, nibble an ear, whisper dirty things to him. Use your girlfriend privileges in front of her, and make it pretty obvious when you two leave together that you're gonna bang it out. Rub her nose in it. If she's into him, that will hurt. If she's not, then no harm, no foul for being extra flirty with your boyfriend. Remember, you've already won. You are the girlfriend. She is not. I normally wouldn't do this, but she's honestly angered me so much that I kinda already started doing this a little bit. I did it the last time we were all hanging out. The second she started reminiscing about stuff they did together, like she usually does when I'm around, I turned up the PDA with him. Sadly, I couldn't see the look on her face because she had a mask on. Edit: thanks to everyone for the advice. I've decided that I will tell my boyfriend everything she's done so far and see how he handles it. To be honest, I was hoping I'd avoid telling my boyfriend about it, but she left me no choice. In the meantime, I don't know how I'll bring it up to my boyfriend, but I'll figure it out. Now for the first update. After reading the comments, I decided to just bring it up with him without telling him what I want him to do, to avoid sounding controlling. I sat him down and told him that some of the stuff that she says really makes me uncomfortable. I told him that I feel like she's undermining our relationship. I gave him a few examples of the stuff she said and done that I didn't appreciate. He still doesn't think she's into him. He's convinced that she's acting this way because she probably feels like they're drifting apart as friends because he's in a serious relationship now. Which frustrated me a little, to be honest, because it's clear to me that she wants him, but being subtle about it. He said that regardless of her intentions, if her actions are making me uncomfortable, he'll have a talk with her about it. I was really happy he said that, because I was really nervous and anxious to see how he'll react. I was afraid he'll take her side. He can be a dummy sometimes, so I was worried that he'd bring it up with her in the wrong way, like saying my girlfriend doesn't want us talking anymore and stuff like that, but he nailed it. He told her in a text, "Dude, I noticed some of the stuff you've been saying in front of my girlfriend lately, and I've been wanting to talk to you about it. It's very disrespectful and uncomfortable. We're cool, but just stop that nonsense." Naturally, she acted all innocent and confused. She was like, "What? You know I'd never do anything that would upset you. I think you're misunderstanding," and stuff like that. He doubled down on it though. I could tell he felt somewhat guilty telling her off like that, and I don't know if he's convinced that she's trying to undermine our relationship or not, but I'm so glad that he had my back in this. I'm honestly kind of glad this whole thing happened. It gave me a better idea of what kind of man he really is. He even said he'll stop hanging out with her alone if it makes me feel uncomfortable. He was also low-key mad at me for waiting this long to tell him I was uncomfortable around her. Safe to say that the best possible outcome happened. He really put her in her place, and not gonna lie, it made me feel real good. All I could think of was, I won. LMAO. Thanks to everyone for encouraging me to tell him, because even though I knew that's what I should have done, I was still scared to do it for some reason. I even thought about potentially just avoiding her for good, which sounds ridiculous now that I think about it, because I shouldn't have to hide from her. I guess I'm just not good at confrontations. Thanks for the helpful advice, everyone. I was dating a guy with a nightmare best friend. I thought she was into him, but I think she was just in the girlfriend space for so long because he had been single so long that she was having a hard time adjusting to a new person in his life. He also had horrible boundaries. We ended up fighting pretty bad, and I said some mean things that were personal and went beyond what she did. She took the high road and apologized, which shocked me. I'd never had someone admit they'd done wrong before. I apologized as well, and we actually got close after that. Maybe it's a similar situation for you and will end up better in the long run, I hope. Either way, that's good that your partner has your back. Regardless of her intentions or feelings, it's her behavior that is out of line. I'm so afraid of this happening with my guy best friend when he gets a girlfriend. I know exactly how it feels to be in that place where boyfriend doesn't take your side, and it honestly makes one feel crazy. I want his future girlfriends to feel comfortable and honestly like me, but I would follow all boundaries with no complaint for her comfort and peace of mind. His last fling that he had ended because he never told her about me, and when she randomly messaged me asking for all this information, I didn't lie to her, and I guess she lost feelings for him. Rightfully so. I mean, he was being a douchebag and lied about me, and I wasn't going to lie. This sounds like a man who is prioritizing your feelings and your relationship. Quality boyfriend material. Even though he doesn't share her opinion, he still prioritized her feelings. High quality boyfriend for sure. I'm surprised she didn't use that as an opportunity to confess to him, but she probably realized it wouldn't go well at that point. Good for you, OP, and I'm glad it worked out. No, but she'll use it as an opportunity to accuse her of being insecure and try to split them up down the road. This girl wants him to be available at all times. This is not going to be an easy ride. Now for the second update. About 10 days ago, I asked my boyfriend to set some boundaries with his longtime female friend because some of the stuff she's been saying to me were making me uncomfortable. He told her that he noticed some of the stuff she's been saying in front of me lately, and that he thinks it's disrespectful towards the relationship, which makes it disrespectful towards him. She didn't take it very well. She kept texting him asking, "She's making you do that, isn't she? This doesn't sound like it's coming from you. She's trying to control you. Are you really okay with that? I didn't think you would be one of those pathetic guys who let their girlfriends boss them around." My boyfriend told her that it's coming from him, and that he just doesn't want anything to jeopardize our relationship, and that he thinks she was being a little disrespectful. She got all mad and was like, "Okay, fine. Pick some random you barely know over me who's been there for you whenever you needed someone," and proceeded to block him. My boyfriend was shaken, mostly because he didn't even say anything that bad to her. He didn't tell her he can't be friends or anything like that. All he said was, "I noticed some of the things you've been saying in front of my girlfriend lately. It's really disrespectful and I wish you'd stop." That's literally all he said to her, and she went crazy because of it. After she blocked him, she went on to tell all of his friends that I'm an insecure, crazy girlfriend who doesn't want him to have any friends but me. She turned all of his friends against me, even his guy friends. One of his best friends, a guy he's known his entire life, told him, "Dude, you're really gonna ditch your friend who's been there for you for some crazy jealous girl you barely know." That really hurt me because I thought I was becoming friends with them. But now they all think I'm the worst. They even stopped coming over for a while. My boyfriend has been telling them that it's all a load of BS, but they're not believing him. Mostly because he and that girl used to be so close, so they all believed her when she said that I changed him. They think I'm somehow fooling him and controlling him or something, which is absolutely ridiculous. A few days after that, she FaceTimed him at 1 in the morning crying and telling him how sorry she is and that she was just upset because she felt that she was losing her best friend. She kept crying and saying that she didn't mean any of it and that she just was threatened by the thought that he doesn't care about her anymore. She acted all innocent and hurt and said that she'll apologize to me if that's what I need, but that she doesn't think she's been doing anything wrong. My boyfriend, who likes to think the best of people even when they don't deserve it, bought it. He thinks she's actually sorry even though I can tell she just wants him back. She told him she'll let everyone know she was wrong about me and that she'd never knowingly disrespect our relationship. She even told him she'd love to be best friends with me. She never even talked to me since then, let alone apologize to me like she said she would. My boyfriend thinks she's gonna be good now and that she's a good person at heart. I already know she's doing all this to make me look like the awful controlling girlfriend so everyone will back her, even though I never ever told him what to do. All I did was tell him that I was uncomfortable with some of this stuff she said. I really don't know what to do with this girl. What's the best way for me to handle this situation? I really need advice again. Now for more advice before reading the last update. I'd run. I would not want to be with a boyfriend who accepts and then invites an obviously jealous friend into our lives, especially after she lied and manipulated his other friends into being her abusive proxy. Yep, she'll put up a good show, but it won't take long for her to find sneaky ways to passively-aggressively undermine you. I went through something very similar. My boyfriend had a female friend, girlfriend of his best friend, and she forced her way into the group, and she always hated any girl he brought around. When we started dating, she liked me at first, but once she saw his attention was no longer directed at her as much as before since we were spending more time together, she started to talk badly about him behind his back. She even did the same thing this girl is pulling, apologizing for talking bad about him, acting like she hated him, and other stuff, all due to missing him. It was weird. He stopped being friends with her after that, and she eventually turned the group against him. 2 years later, she DM'd him on Instagram trying to talk, and tried to follow him, but he pretty much shut her down. People like this are toxic and they can't be trusted. I'm very happy she's not in our lives anymore, because she was so miserable. Anytime we hung out with her in the group, she would talk bad about everyone and anyone, friends, strangers, you name it. Your boyfriend should not allow his friends to treat you this way. If he is going to let her do this, then leave now, especially since it seems like a semi-new relationship. After the backslide he did, I'd have lost respect for him by now. I'm not a man's mother, therapist, or circle time teacher. You know, that block in elementary schools where we teach children what feelings are and how human interaction works. I think you have an excellent framework here, but I worry that it leans a little too cool girl for a boyfriend, who obviously doesn't do any emotional labor. Now for the final update. My boyfriend finally cut her out of his life completely. A few days after she apologized for everything she's been saying about my boyfriend and I, she contacted me saying she wants us to start over and that she has no idea why things got so weird between us. She said she thinks we can be friends. I tried to be polite and told her that we can just start over. I wasn't too excited about it because I know she hates my guts and she hates the fact that she's not in the girlfriend space with my boyfriend anymore. But I figured I'll give the whole friendship thing with her a try for my boyfriend's sake. At first, I thought it was going okay. She wasn't being weird towards my boyfriend anymore and she stopped all the subtle flirting. Until one day last week when my boyfriend told me that we can't be friends with her anymore. I was shocked, since he's the one that insisted I give her a second chance and that she learn from her mistakes. Apparently, she's been acting friendly towards me, but was still talking crap behind my back. All this time she's been telling his friends how awful and controlling I am. She even told people that I have a sugar daddy on the side, which is BS. He confronted her and she tried to cry and apologize herself out of it again. She even tried to hook up with him. My boyfriend finally realized that she's full of it and cut her off. He told me that I was right all along, and that she's not a good friend to him anymore. He couldn't believe he didn't see it sooner. Anyway, she's finally out of our lives. I still think my boyfriend shouldn't have even given her a second chance after all the crap she did. But I guess he owed her that much since they were friends for a long time. Regardless, I'm just glad it's over. I wonder which sides the rest of the friend group picked. After the first time she turned them against OP's boyfriend, I'm not optimistic for him still having those not so great friends. That entire group sounds like trash. really confused why the boyfriend didn't just screenshot the conversation. Objectively, she went scorched earth, not him. It was all done via text, so why not just screenshot and send to the friends who refused to believe him? I can't speak for all men, but the ones I know would think that's just creating drama, causing unnecessary conflict, and so on. To me, however, it's doing the opposite, ending drama and conflict. One of the things I have learned is that in most of these cases, it isn't that the other person is in love with their friend. It is that they feel they are not in control of the relationship because their friend is not putting them as their first priority. The flirting isn't the reflection of some supposed romantic interest, but rather a tool to keep the person around and sway them, as well as establishing dominance over them instead of their partner. It's no coincidence that she only tried hooking up in the last act. It was a last desperate measure to try to keep her influence over him. She didn't want to date OP's boyfriend, just a pet to play around.